Wanna drive the scrolling? Like there's
Oh,
any-
just a mouse, okay, got it.
Yeah,
So are we live?
we are live, yeah.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Today is November 13th, 2025, and this is the meeting of the Design Review Committee. We are all in person and on Zoom. First on the agenda is 13 Church Street, site plan review and special permits. Thank you, welcome. And could you just give us the latest update since our last meeting?
Sure, I'll page through and sort of say what has changed, okay.
Perfect, thank you so much.
So no changes on this page, it's just kind of locates our project, you know, in the corner of Church Street and West Main, 3 lots that will be combined. The old fire station location. So one of the things we did, just to clarify, we added a D at all drive locations for now, and then the site plans will identify that under ZBA as well. Let's see, this is the architectural site plan. We added a sign elevation, sign location, utility box locations that sort of close by the 2 utility poles. My list here. We added more designations on the legend just to sort of clarify, you know, where things are, sconces, light poles, utility poles, etc. West Main Street building is a 3-story building with a commercial on the ground level. Now, I think last meeting it was 2-story, and so the footprint is similar. It's you know, within a couple feet of what it was before. So revised footprint of this building. And I think we sort of maneuvered a garbage truck, you know, grabbing the garbage. So this seemed like an easier spot to for the garbage location, dumpster location.
On the dumpster location, is that something that you can pretty much see it from the driveway back up?
You can see it when you're coming in, but
You
that's,
But
yes,
so far back, you wouldn't see it from the.
It's also it'll also be screened. I mean, I think you keep it closed, you know, and during off hours, and then maybe during the day it's open. So the intent is that it, you know, it's got a screen that'll blend in with the context of the site, you know, not be.
it also, it does 2 other things. It's more, certainly much more easy to service. But when we pull it out of the corner, it allows all that area by the residential part to not have it. So it's a nice, cleaner, more park-like environment, which we're trying to get. So we're not dragging the garbage truck, you know, with the backup beepers and everything going into the area where we have the residential on the 2 floors above. And the other thing, I'm not sure if we changed it, but we drew the screening, but in this case, the screening will match the building finishes, so it's not just gonna be a stupid little fence that says you can't see there's a garbage, you know, can behind here. We've done that on a lot of different developments, so whether it's the masonry look or some of the wood that we have, it'll be that, so it ties in and doesn't look as much like, you know, a garbage screen.
That's great.
no change on this, you know, except for the layout, the sort of the reference layout site was updated, but same information otherwise. Floor plans updated just for the sake that, you know, they're progressing, but these are the same plans. Essentially. As each floor, first, second, third. Yeah, you can see, this is a mansard roof, so, you know, the footprint sort of gets adjusted accordingly, but again, it's the same plan. These got developed quite a bit. Including, you know, additional elevation, so every main elevation is now shown of the Church Street building. So Church Street, you know, we added some glass elements, the towers is a little bit more well defined. Some masonry.
The cornices.
Exactly, the cornices are now actual, you know, painted cornice, potentially precast cornice as well as painted cornices, precast headers and sills. So the colors are intended to, you know, to sort of start to establish, you know, the scheme, sort of a sage, kind of a medium sage, gray roofs, dark roofs, you know, standard New England brick, darker window volumes, and then, you know, the conservatories. It's the tie with the green panel paint. And again, this is still being developed, but.
And on the lower, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, on the lower level, the arched openings, the two entrances to the retail spot and the other arch that takes us back to the parking lot. Including the arched openings up high on the deck are just kind of playing homage to the old fire station that was there, so we're pulling some of that history back into this building.
I didn't include this in the submission, but, you know, this sort of, it's the first pass at a black and white rendering, you know, sort of small sketchy, but this is sort of, you know, you're on Church Street, you know, you see the roof deck and the retail space, and then this is the West Main Street building. It's really meant to just have a really classic feel, and again, the arches play homage to the shop, you know, sort of bumps in and out a little bit, just to give you a sense of shop versus residential. Above, you get sort of a vertical residential arch windows. Millie's big concern is let's make the back just as nice as the front, so I think we're doing that.
And we're really trying to encourage people to, I'm gonna say, cut through here as opposed to walk around the gas station. So if you're coming from West Main to Church, not only do you cut through the sidewalks we have back there, but there's gonna be a lot of I guess I'll call it fancy or high-end landscaping, and it takes us all the way back to the brook. And when I say that, we did bring on board really cool. We have our normal landscape architect, and then we have a really special one that does like living walls and planter boxes that we built in. So this, it's way above and beyond what we need or want, but it's also something that Millie wants. So it should be really cool with a lot of the stuff that we're gonna do, which it's not on all the feet, you know, it's little hints of the planners, but these are and inside and out, you know, we're looking to do some stuff on the inside where you have the living walls and great stuff, and arranging each of those rocks that she stole from the fire station site. In a cool artistic way. I mean, that's the fun part about what we're doing here. So we didn't draw every little detail, but the intent is here, and I think when we're all done, you know, people be walking around saying, well, this is really cool.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, as you know, there's sort of a little indent here, you know, some sort of experience tended to have here. What's that?
The living walls.
Yeah, she had these moss, they were moss. It was basically three-dimensional artwork, but just made out of moss.
Yeah, they have it at Tower Hill.
Right, yeah, exactly,
Is that where
exactly.
you got your
Really cool.
inspiration from?
I've actually been thinking about a living wall for about 8 years, so everywhere I've seen them has been something a little bit different,
Yeah.
but.
We did one that, yeah, the
Such
river
a
school.
softening feature.
Yeah.
We did one in the lobby of river school, was that about 6 years ago?
It was.
Yeah.
And
You know, they love it, and a lot of it. It could be a pain to maintain depending how it's designed, because it has to be watered, it has to be cleaned, it has to be maintained, so. But we brought this person on, and all I knew is when I talked to her and met her, I said, this is gonna be her soulmate, because. Again, it's hard to describe all this, but it's fun and it'll be cool because, and it's fun for us. Cause a lot of times when clients want the bare minimum. We'll do the bare minimum to meet code, but there's just bringing her in says you're going way beyond any minimum. So it should be fun.
So, yeah, I'll just go back to the site. So I think that the intent is to have a site sign here, you know, similar to what's shown here, a pretty basic, you know, granite post and replaceable wood sign. And where each tenant will then have their, this is the
There's a
coffee
free-
shop, yeah, I mean, in some cases, it's the sign cornice is meant for signage, you know. Similar to a lot of towns like Hudson, which we really like, so that's the intent, that this person, you know, each person will have their sign along the cornice.
And if I can interject, so because of the look and it's fabulous, that I'm assuming that it will always be the same, like the signs will all be in the
It's the
same
intent.
color and the same, you know, it just heightens the high end look
Mhm.
instead of having a white one and a dark one.
Everyone comes in with a
Yeah.
different sign, and
Right.
sometimes it's vinyl.
And I think
No,
most of it
that's
is-
not what we want to do.
Yeah, I think yes, mostly, you know, let's say McDonald's came in, pushing the limits. You're still gonna get the golden arch, but the sign will blend in with everything, it's no different than like in Freeport.
Yeah.
McDonald had to. Make it look like it fit in Freeport, but you still could put your logo. But it was very subtle and low key, so I just don't wanna say yes if you get AT&T or some tenant that has to have that. But yes, it'll be classy and consistent as much as possible, and I'll say practical at that point.
Actually, the bylaws dictate that, you know, any sign in this particular downtown business district has to go to this committee anyway for approval or review.
Right, and we're not even doing it for the committee, we just want it to look nice, you know, but
Right.
it's just, but the reality kicks in sometimes where. You know, something like that will happen, but I can promise you it will be done in a classy way, but. If it's just a mom and pop shop, there's no reason why it all can't just blend. And all the downtowns will have it, where it's like gold lettering, and then this will have black lettering, but you know, they're all in that same freeze area, so it's consistent. You can look up and there's the building I'm going into.
Right, cause it does, I mean, it makes a difference, I mean, even the larger companies, AT&T, whatever, they'll do a black and white if they have to.
No, I understand, I mean, at some point they won't, but. I don't know that would ever happen, I just put that out there, we bring it in and say, here's what these guys want, and then you say okay or not.
Well, I mean, this is the quintessential, go to this building, this is what we've been dying to create. And I think that it's I want to see that framed somewhere, cause it's magnificent. We like to let you feel what it is, as opposed to everything has to be specific, it's an emotional feeling when you look at it and go, this is 2025, oh. This is
Well, it's also meant to look like it's not just one big block, you know,
Right.
that could have been done 50 years prior to that.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of what you have in downtowns, you know, it's not the same architect doing each facade, but there's continuity.
Right.
And
And it's very nice. And the other thing I was wondering too, your electrical boxes that you're having, are they like the steel square?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, we've more allocated spaces, I think they're 4x4 steel box and what may go there, it's screened, it's accessible, it's everything that it wants to be. I guess when you park in those two spots, you'll see it, but otherwise, it's
But I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I mean, you can see, they're beautiful art pieces on.
oh, I see.
Oh, I know, I can bedazzle.
That's,
So that's another, it's another example of this is what can do everywhere.
Yeah,
they're.
It will be called the Milton effect.
oh gosh.
I've seen those turned into murals, they're art, projects where people get assigned, a certain.
Yeah.
Side of a box and they,
It's just,
which, I think the goal, this is sort of is this ivy, is it sculpture, is there, artwork, there's something here that is within, the town regulations, but there's something going on here that, we're still sort of thinking about. But that's the goal, it's sort of sculptural artwork, or, is it a simple, precast, sculpture, sort of two-dimensional.
And that's the wall where.
So that-
Yeah,
exactly.
They put a wall right touching
Right.
it, so you can't put windows and cool stuff, because when you have that zero setback. It's just, that's just the way.
So there's still some thought, which is why we have some additional people on board and development, where it's cool, but I think we're trying to make it even better, where
I think it was a big one for us. Because there's this woman that owns this restaurant, and she's got like Heidi all over it, and just trying to convince her that it would work, and very difficult to work.
Oh, I know, that's right.
But I mean, that would be nice on that wall, because it just, it just gives it a little more character, and then the rusty old cars sitting around will have something to enjoy.
So this is the same landscape plan, except that the layout, any changes we made to the layout is updated on the landscape plan, but essentially it's the same landscape plan.
And then we did where the cars pull in, we've got planters there that are built in. We just don't want the big ugly ballers.
Yeah, for now, I think
They're not required by code, but we also want to keep it safe.
We're showing two, but we do have to address, some of the other areas where a car could sort of go right over the curb.
When you file with the ZBA, if you could, because I noticed the site plan and this plan aren't consistent. When it comes to that, because the site plan is showing the concrete still.
Mhm.
So, and then if you could provide a detail of whatever planter you're
What
gonna
what
go
those
with.
are, yeah,
Yeah.
rocks or planters or what they are, sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Last meeting, the committee asked for a streetscape, so, this is the streetscape. It was a little underwhelming when we started to put it on paper. We said, oh, okay, this is it. So hopefully this will grow and there will be more of this and, less of this. This is cool.
We're gonna make the doors look like gas pumps, but decided not to fit in.
Having so much fun.
We
wanna fit in.
It's kind of sad.
well, that how they do that TV show, they change everything and they've got the wall up.
I know.
The wall up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With all the gas stations and then you pull it over.
Usually you avoid a streetscape because your building doesn't look as nice as the old ones. It's just like, you really want us to blend with what's here? I know that's the intent of the code, but people were like, please, can we do something a little better than the gas station, please?
I think this is gonna blend really well with the new fire station.
Right.
Well, and
Yeah, a lot of
other parts of town, I mean,
The massing.
if you cross if you go to the House of Pizza and stuff, I mean, there's still cool brick buildings, you know, this building, there's enough of them in town, we're not. Inventing this saying we wanna bring us back in time, we have enough, but if we could celebrate it and other people. You know, catch the disease, then all of a sudden, you know, we can have more. Nice buildings on Main Street and church and everywhere else in town. But to say. To be contextual, I know that's the letter of the law, but we may be breaking it and hopefully you guys will be happy with that.
Right, I think that, I mean, that's depressing. The hope is that it sets a trend like Darwin, I
Right.
mean, this is the gateway. Hopefully. Sets a trend.
Go back one more.
Sure.
One up, yes, above it, that's it. So that's really the size of the, you know, the buildings. So this is, again, this is a perfect example of what we asked for, to show the street plan in both.
Right, so you see in context where they begin,
Understand it,
yes,
and that's what we've been lacking so often.
And the reality is, you know, the canopies are up at the street, the buildings are set, at least the two gas stations, the buildings are actually set, you know. Much further back than the WCD, it's a little closer to the street, and this guy is. Not as close as us, but.
So on the corner of the other side, so that, again, come down a little bit, on the corner, so there's your building, and there's the, oh, I see what it is, okay.
the awnings.
It's the gas, it's the.
Out in the corner and the building to the gas station set back further, but the awning is
The awnings.
right out
Where?
on
Yeah,
Main Street and Church, that's, we're celebrating that corner with. A gas station awning, which is why we'd like people to kind of cut behind our building and go to Church Street and over the bridge and see the stream so that. It's also not. It's safe, it's legal to walk in front of gas stations, but you got people pulling in and out and it's not fun. To do that, I mean, gas stations require in and out every 2 minutes, so it's not like you're coming in and staying there for 8 hours. Or having dinner for 3 hours, you're filling up and you're leaving, or you're picking up a snack or a lottery ticket and you're leaving, and so we'd say, hey. Come walk through our site and relax and don't worry about getting hit by a car.
The traffic is very.
Pardon?
The traffic route
I know
is
that.
notorious.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really awful.
yeah.
So, and we talked at the last meeting, I think, about the crosswalk situation, we haven't regarding that.
No, but I had that as a note, that as a, as a condition, like when we write a letter to the ZBA. I think we discussed that the ZBA would have a condition that they write. A letter to the select board to get the sidewalk moving on Church Street.
Or the crosswalk.
Yeah,
Crosswalk, that's what she's on.
Oh, what did
That
I
would be
say?
great at the end of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too, and that.
cause I think we said it was too early for us to write it, but we were gonna make a note that the ZBA, once it's moving to that process.
And this will be designed for that, you know, if it goes in, great, if it doesn't. It doesn't, but it would be nice if it would.
Yeah, I mean, because you get that feeling anyway, so you're coming into a.
And that's the sidewalk, part of the bridge is on the other side, so
Right.
that you can come from Whitney and everywhere else, get to downtown and hit either side.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the legal crosswalk at the intersection, again, that's tough.
Right, there's an awful lot of activity going on.
Yes, you got everybody trying to go everywhere at the same time at that intersection. This was a lot easier than the words.
It was. Do you wanna talk through your drawings? Okay, that's the list you gave me, so, or have you just.
I appreciate it. So I'll kind of go very similar with John did. I'll kind of go through and explain all the changes that happened here. Honestly, the cover sheet, nothing really changed on here. Pretty standard, same thing with construction notes, nothing that changed on here, very straightforward. So for the existing condition sheet, what we we did some soil testing. This is all in preparation for Conservation Commission filing and everything like that. But so we did go out and perform some soil testing. So those are kind of shown here with the soil testing data. Tough to see on this sheet unless you kind of zoom in. But all relatively decent material out there. Same thing here, so this is the site demo sheet, nothing had really changed here. Again, just minus putting on the soil information as well. As we kind of continue down here into the layout sheet, so again, as we kind of been saying, the layout has kind of been tweaked a little bit, so we're rolling with the punches with this one, constantly just updating the layout, making sure that we try to stay as consistent as possible. I noted that there is that variation between the planter boxes, so we'll update that when we go to an official filing. The only additional change here is we wanted to kind of show the difference between permeable surfaces and impervious surface, because it seems like there's been some questions about where each one is located. So we've added some additional hatching here, kind of like a brick facade, just to kind of at least visualize it. So essentially, the entire walkway is going to be permeable pavers. As you get up over towards, I guess this would be the DPW access road, for lack of a better term, that's going to be impervious. So that's where we're currently sitting. The only thing that's really changed as well is the size of this subsurface system. It's not fully designed yet, but this is just to kind of accommodate that stormwater runoff. Again, this is all going to be underneath. You won't really see anything from a surface side. As we kind of go through it, obviously we'll have to put in what they call like inspection ports, so you can actually see it if it needs to be maintained or something like that. But again, this would all be very minimal surface level stuff. Moving down as well here. So utility plan, really nothing too much tweak here. Again, minus just relocating some of the light poles. There was, again, the update for the subsurface system, trying to stay as consistent as possible. The architect's plans here as well, you know, relocating some of the bike parking, I think was originally shown over here, and now some of it's relocated. And similarly with the EV stations as well. Moving right along here.
Can you show us where those are?
Which ones?
EV stations and the handicap?
Yeah, so right here, these kind of little bowl boxes, kind of tough to see, but those are the EV space allocations.
So we have 4?
Yep, so you would have 2 charging stations if this is going to be a full EV build out. My understanding as of right now, this is kind of the EV ready, so we'll have the conduit and everything in with like a handhold box. And then if there's going to be a full build out, obviously we'll put those stations in as needed.
You mean the 4, you're not gonna do more than 4?
No, as of right now, I believe the intent is to only have just the 4 spaces, but you only need 1 station for every 2 spaces, depending on where you kind of locate them. We try to locate them at the, like, I guess, intersection between the 2 spaces, so that way you can have 1 pole from each, so it has as many like standing stations.
Right. I'm concerned too that, you know, that it's a small parking area that you wanna be able to utilize, and you can't utilize those.
You can't.
I've heard that while you're getting gas, you can, when you can leave it gas, electricity. But you can do a 2-hour, or you can do a certain amount of hour stay for each one, but I've been told that you can't, you have to leave them open. You can't leave them, it's like a handicap spot where you have to either have a handicap sticker or you have to be utilizing the space to use the energy. Is that not right?
I've never heard of that.
Me either.
I haven't seen it in any law or any of the communications I've had.
I think
Either my zoning people or my building department.
Cause at the movie theater, it specifically has signage on it.
Well, they may do it
That
there,
wrong
but you don't, it's not a code.
But it's not
Not a code?
to my knowledge, it's not a state law. They could have done that on their own volition. It's like Walmart dedicating people to, you know, pregnant mothers, veterans, you know, people with special needs, special access that don't have a handicap yet.
Well,
So I think they did that on their own,
okay,
their own behalf.
cause that, I mean, I'm even protecting the landowner, because I think it's really a hardship if you have a specified number, you can't use it any other than that.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
And I guess I'll just add to that too, that would be the plus of having the EV ready rather than being fully established. Is that if there is a need, say there's people who move in who have electric vehicles, if there's a need for it, everything's there, at least the infrastructure is kind of set up for you, so it's just a matter of installation. Rather than like you're saying, if they are specifically allocated.
Right,
So
right,
benefit of the EV ready versus like a full build out, if you will.
okay, and then the
Yep.
handicapped area?
Yep, so the 2 handicap spots here is gonna be 1 on the edge here, I should say 3, I apologize, so 1 here, 1 here, and the last 1 here. We're kind of trying to be as close to these buildings as possible. For the access aisle itself, it's actually gonna be almost right along that walkway, so you kind of get a essentially double dipping a little bit, right? Because otherwise you lose a spot if you try to combine everything. So it's a tough site with everything being so tight. But I think what we've kind of put together here, it does, you know, really promote safe pedestrian travel as well. More so than anything. So those are the three areas. Everything, of course, would be up to ADA compliance. Moving right along, unless you have any other questions on this sheet.
I've got one question.
Yes.
I haven't heard anything from the state in terms of if you have an EV space in this situation,
Mhm.
do you have to dedicate one EV space to being handicap accessible?
It's a great.
I haven't heard a response from AAB or any other board. I think it's a good idea, but with a minimum of one, but I don't see it anywhere in the code. I was wondering if you've seen it.
Great question. So the stretch code has kind of changed a lot. So I'll give you at least my understanding. I'll have to do a lot more of a deep dive. But it's my understanding if you do have EV spaces, you are supposed to allocate one for handicap accessibility. The way I've tackled this in the past with other projects is to try to allow at least my understanding is to allow the station itself to be accessible, because that's typically the hardest part, is these are usually set behind curbs or something like that. So we've done situations where we kind of either have like a hashed alley, kind of be able to approach to it and stuff like that. That's my understanding. I'd have to do a real deep dive, because that seems to be changing a lot, even like the number of required spaces for that matter, based on use code. But it could be easily implemented, I think, for this site, for example, right? If we just look over at this location right here, you could turn this into an EV station and just put it a charging station right over here by that access aisle. So everything's relatively level. You can get right over there, get what you need.
Understand, I'm not making that decision. That's for these guys. I'm just
Yeah.
raising the question.
No, this is a great question.
I was just Googling the code and it's not code that anyone can park there. It's up to the property owner, except in California where it is fine. And actually
In
combination.
Massachusetts, we're not that far behind.
I agree.
Yeah. So 2035. But the combo spots, the EV with the handicap, that is restricted because of the handicap thing. However, somebody charging their vehicle can park in the handicap.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but if you want to trust ChatGPT, which I learned not to do.
Yes. The AI overview is helpful sometimes.
Right.
But so that's how I see this. Nothing else has really kind of changed on this sheet. But yeah, I think those are great questions. Moving right along down here, grading and drainage plan. So this has changed, again, mainly due to layout, just trying to be consistent here. Again, just trying to have some sort of gutter line going to a catch basin, feeds into this and then into the subsurface system. Not fully designed out yet, but that's kind of the intent behind everything here. And of course, making sure we call, different spot elevations for handicap accessibility more so than anything. Make sure everything kind of still flows nicely here. That's really, broad strokes for this sheet. It's just constantly just trying to make sure we're consistent as things kind of keep changing. Moving along here, sediment erosion control plan. So this one's probably seen the most amount of tweaks, since it's based on some of the comments that was received from this committee. So we did add an additional anti-tracking pad on each entrance into the site. Seems to make the most sense. We put in an approximate stockpile location. I always like to leave it subject to change, because wherever it's most convenient at the time during construction, but at least you have an area that's dedicated for it. We added a silt fence along the side here, kind of just as an extra precaution to protect the brook. The site actually does all kind of grade into the center of it at this point. So it didn't make much sense to have like a perimeter controls, but I think for this situation where you have the brook back here, it makes all the sense in the world to kind of add that just precautionary. We also added a limit of work, kind of showing all around essentially the entire site, kind of going out through the whole thing there. We did add some silt sacks. I think this was on the last plan, but just kind of made a boulder, make it jump out a bit more for all the existing infrastructure that's out there. Obviously, you want to protect the MS4 system with silt sacks. So that was kind of the most of the changes with this. We're more than happy to answer any other questions on this. If not, I'll just kind of keep moving along.
Well, this probably doesn't have anything to do with this
Mhm.
piece, but the lot line behind or adjacent to WCD, is that a wall, a wall this high, is that is that something we're gonna talk about? now?
Yeah, that was for better choice of words, it's a decorative wall, but it's gonna be broken up. Not a complete wall, because we don't want this to look like a prison, but we also don't like what's on the other side, so where we do open it up, we're gonna put in vegetation. But I mean, we don't need anything there by code, but we just wanna make that experience along that walk as nice as we possibly can, and so it's. That's gonna be kind of the funnest thing to do here, I'll say artistic, landscape and architecturally is that wall, because again. There's no requirement for it, but we really wanna. We wanna give ourselves some privacy. We don't want it to look like a prison or a fortress, but the wall going the whole way and 10 feet tall and the big white vinyl fence, this is what. People do for visual privacy. The wall's meant to be, kind of enjoyed.
Right.
And we do wanna break it up just so it doesn't look like a big.
Yeah, this is a thought, just as sort of a starting point concept, right? Like, walls moving up and down, sconces, some fencing, as well as landscaping with some, iron fencing, stone, natural materials, maybe tall bushes. It's meant to be decorative screening, even this year, just sort of.
So and that
It's not
too,
too
by putting greenery even on top of it. But I know the museums and stuff, they do the brick walls and then they have like the pillars out of brick. To give it
Yeah.
that in and out and an arch and that sort of thing, and even though it is, it's helping to keep the other visual away. It's not horrible, it's nice, it makes
Yeah.
you
Well,
feel like
ours
you're
is
actually
meant-
in a building.
Ours is meant to be enjoyed. And the screening. Is one part of it, but it wasn't. It wasn't screening primarily, if it was a beautiful park over there, we'd probably put less. But we wanna screen, but we wanna enjoy the screen, so the thing that we're blocking. We want to really enjoy it, whether we build benches into it, I mean, I don't even wanna throw out the word fountain, but that's come up. But why not, I mean, so but that's where we are on that, and that'll take a long time to do right, because we gotta look at our rocks and how big are they, and where does this one go, and we build the wall right over one of the rocks. I mean, that's some of the stuff that we really wanna do, but. That's weeks of work and I showed her my rock plan when I did the house for myself, so I actually had numbers on every rock, and here's where they go, and here's how they tie into the house, so. We'll have a rock plan. Because we have a lot of rocks. Well, and we want them for kind of the cool factor, I mean, we got a. Jail cell tied to a tree, for crying out loud.
He hasn't figured out what we're doing with that. Do we have to go design review for that one?
I don't think so, I don't
If you
know.
leave it tied to the
Leave it for
tree.
jail?
We might have to decide what you put on the person in the jail cell.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
that would be the fun.
That's my private dining.
Yeah, the fun guy,
Yeah, find it,
You make money on that.
you could, yes.
for sure.
And just to add as well, just the plus side of having some of those nice little screening walls, this does actually aid with ADA accessibility kind of all along that route, so you can have a nice smooth travel more so than.
I mean, it's delightful, just to be able to see and to create that, because
Of course.
like those type of walls, especially the brick walls, we've seen many, and they are 8 feet of those is fine, without it's a structure, but it's.
I took the head out, so. These two guys take over. Sorry about that.
Moving right along here, so this is just some erosion control notes, nothing had changed on this plan. And then similarly with the actual construction details, nothing we changed here either. A lot of stuff we kind of added here originally was just, I don't want to necessarily say boilerplate stuff, but all the things we would anticipate to see on this full build out more so than anything. So there are some things that might need to be tweaked when we get to the final design, more so I think for the ZBA filing, but I think we're in a very good spot. And that's it for civil side of things. I'd be, again, more than happy to answer any questions or anything like that, but I'll hand everything back over here to John.
Yeah, I think that's about it, we don't wanna go through this stuff. Right?
But I do thank you for the whole material list, but it answers all the questions, I think.
Great.
I think it covers everything, so you don't have to go through it in my mind.
Yeah, we added the bike rack cut sheet, that's really one of the major changes to all that, all the reference material.
Mhm. Okay, and Lori, they replied to some of your questions, or all of your questions actually, right? So there were a couple things that we just have to go to, ZBA, but there's ZBA always. Correct. Anyways.
Yeah, so if I didn't put a comment, it means that it still has to be addressed. So on under number 20. So there were still some things that that's.
No, always even there.
Number 20,
Yeah, number 20 on my comment sheet, there were some things that have to be addressed before you file with the ZBA. So those are still, some of them are still at the same.
Yeah, this, we talked about it. Well, we should have.
Made my job a lot easier when I was like, hey, did you look at this?
And I really appreciate the comment letter,
Yeah.
because at first I didn't realize that you had done it, and I'm like, oh, no. And it really makes my job a lot better.
So number 1 talks about exterior materials and products, and that's all on the date that you apply. So as far as me as design review, I think we have material sheet we needed. Was there anything you wanted to?
Well, I guess what we're just having a side discussion here is we're talking about valet parking in a drop off spot, which might be nice to show. I don't know if you guys have thought, I mean, it's nothing that we cover with our guidelines or anything, so it's new territory for us. But it's great because it works for handicap also, where you have a drop off spot, so.
Right.
have you talked about that already?
not really, other than that we have a warrant coming before the town about ballet, so we don't really know at this point
Yeah.
how that's gonna go. But it's conversational that we.
Yeah, so the conversation or the question might be that whether we can use that DPW access area as the drop off spot too. And personally, I don't see a problem with that, but not up to me, so.
Yeah, there were two things brought up in that area that I think I brought up with you and
I guess about
about that
Should be a big deal.
easement area
The only time you don't do this,
and one was
Which doesn't happen very often, so.
once a day.
Doesn't.
Yeah, I did present a question to DPW. I assume it'll get flushed out during ZBA, but I think that the goal is to increase green space here and sort of minimize the entry drive, but then it opens up to the full easement. I don't know how they access, do they, because a 12-foot drive for one truck is plenty of room. Do they pull in 2 trucks at the same time and they need something different than it? I think that's.
my concern on having that easement be open and visible is that you're gonna get a lot of people at that intersection trying to turn in thinking that's an access to these businesses, so visibly, I want to try to minimize the fact that people should be going in there at all. And so leaving it open for DPW is one thing, but making it look like, oh, that's where I can go in is a message we don't want to have.
Like, can it be grass pavers? I think that's what Millie and I talked about. So as you're driving by, you say, oh, that's a lawn. I'm not gonna pull in there. Whereas DPW knows that's
They can go in
that's
there.
their easement access, and grass pavers are, can be plowed and
Yeah.
maintained easily. So that's,
For the town common, they have grass pavers where it's in the front where they could go in and they have a bollard that actually folds down, I think, that they can go over.
Oh,
So it's like the entrance to the town common, there's another little entrance to the left, and they originally put that in
I
there
know what you're talking about.
for access, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the bollard goes down. But that would stop people from going in, yeah.
right, and the other thing was, is that easement space something we can use for, like Mark brought up, valet, pickup, drop off, turnaround type stuff.
I would think you could, because the easement is for use to get to that building. It doesn't, the town doesn't own it. They just have, they have an easement to use.
Right,
Access.
Yeah,
so
so that's,
To give them access.
yeah,
it's really, I think, more our decision about how that would work and making sure that traffic flow and use their needs are met as well as what we can do with it. Can we, what does conservation say? How can we use it,
so have you gone before conservation already, and you still have to do that?
Not with this particular, yeah.
Because I do think you're absolutely right, all the things that you're bringing up is that people are gonna think, oh, I can get in this way.
Right,
And the ballot idea is pretty good.
Yeah.
And when you say the pavers, the grass pavers, are the ones that look like lattice work, that's cement, and
Exactly.
the grass comes through?
Grass is able to go through, so it has to be maintained, but
Right,
it's drivable.
and does it have a certain weight capacity?
It'll be drivable. A drivable
Because usually
surface.
that's more for like the fancy parking lots.
Right.
They have it at the town hall.
And they've got, F-250s or 350, right, those are a little heavier, they're pulling.
And my understanding too is grass papers, they do come in different loading capacities, so that's a good point. We'll make sure it's H20 loading, which is your standard.
Yeah, yes, because I don't know what the truck weighs after it pulls out.
H20 is typically for like even highways and stuff like that, so I think they're making that's their uses.
And those are beautiful too, I mean, I've seen them, I've often wanted to do that in my yard, just.
Well, now that it's grown in the town common, you wouldn't even know what's underneath it.
right,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It just looks like grass, but the papers underneath it, it's like, I think it's like plastic.
Yeah, it kind of helps prevent all that running you'd get if you use like continuous traffic on grass.
Yeah. So then how does Millie move forward with that? If that's an easement situation, who's the,
I've had conversations with Scott at DPW,
Yeah.
Scott Charpentier, he's the one who sort of, helped us through. I think they go there once a day, he said we can reskin the pump, we essentially can't impede anything nothing permanent can be on
right,
there.
just for,
But in terms of what it looks like, he had no issue with it.
Okay, so if we go through the check sheet for for our memo. The first question had to do with materials list, which we have. And that's everything shown up here. So I feel like that's been covered. Number 2, they submitted the elevations, that's covered. Number 3, the sign was added. So when we discussed that already, so that's all set. Number 4. Was the utilities, we discussed that, that's all set. 5. The chargers. 6. Was a discussion about the pavers. And Lori had a question about the critical area.
Yeah, so I think, critical areas, I guess in my mind, would be any of the accessible, areas in the parking lot as well as the access to them and, entrances. So I was just thinking, any of those areas probably want to be at least set in concrete, if not concreted itself, or a decorative, sort of saying concrete.
When you file with the ZBA, if you could use a different symbology for
Okay.
that versus the forest pavers. That would be great.
Number 7 talks about bike parking, they showed that there was a bike rack. 8 has to do with photometric plan, but that's something that they put forth in the ZBA. We don't look at photometric plans, but they did show the types of lighting that they would use, which I think looked really nice. Number 9 talked about the dumpsters, which Dario talked about. Putting something around it that's easy and matches. Number 10 talks about a waiver for the 10-foot buffer strip. And they're gonna use a fence, we had talked about that at a previous meeting, and I think. In my opinion, we're okay with that, the waiver. For the buffer strip, because they're gonna add a nice fence to block the gas stations. So that, I was thinking would be a comment on our memo letter, that the design review committee had a discussion about the 10-foot waiver. And we're in agreement that if we recommend that they have the 10-foot waiver for the fencing. Are we both in agreement with that?
Yes.
So Lori will have to mention that on the memo. And then number 11 talks about 10% is open space. For the paving, that's all set. Number 12. Talks about the planters that they're gonna use as barrier elements. And they've already discussed that they're gonna do that for the ZBA. They're gonna be really nice planters that. So people can't back into the building of the sidewalk. So that's for the ZBA. I don't know if we wanna mention that in our memo. But they know they're gonna do it. So we probably don't.
Maybe you can say that you're okay with in lieu of doing bollards and you know, the concrete
Wheel stops.
bumper, yeah. That
Okay.
you're okay with doing the planters.
Okay, so do you mind adding that? That's a good idea. 13 had to do with benches, and we saw those in the materials list. 14. Should be painting crosswalks, so we're also with that. 15.
But on the crosswalks on this one,
Yep,
is that on main streets or is that just inside? Inside their parking?
It's interior. So it was it's actually shown on that plan in there faintly. They had on the civil drawing, they're showing
It's clear,
strips.
it's clear on Sylvan.
So it's just painted.
I think Larry mentioned they need
Oh, right there.
details of the ZBA,
Yeah.
or that that's all set. 16. Has to do with the land. And that's already in process, the land combining. 17. And 18 were all in the plan that were addressed. And 19, those were all addressed at the last meeting. 20 talks about 20, Lori already discussed, there are a couple of things that need to be discussed by the ZBA, but they're not design review items, so. So we don't need to include that in the memo. I don't see anything else. The only thing else I'd like to add to the memo is talking about how we do recommend that ZBA sends a letter to the Board of Selectmen about starting the process of getting a crosswalk to Church Street.
Right, across on Church. And
So-
and by the bridge area. That was like, you know, to accommodate. How that's gonna play in, not
Yeah.
just somewhere. But where it's actually more.
And maybe Lori, before the ZBA meeting, you could draft out the memo and then they can send it out. To the town about the crosswalk.
When is the meeting?
Oh, they haven't filed yet, so it's whatever. Oh, the ZBA meeting, Lisa asked when it was, but you haven't even filed yet, so. Hey, probably in 2026, right, or this year.
Yeah, our,
Hopefully,
I
well,
think,
we'll see, hopefully this year.
Okay,
yeah,
it's just going so fast, like,
It is.
cause December, do they meet in December? I haven't been out.
They canceled their meeting in November, they're doing a joint meeting with the planning board. And then we're discussing the scheduling of the December meeting, it's supposed to be December 23rd. The chairman asked to maybe select a different date, but that hasn't been set in stone yet.
Seems like you guys would be ready to go anyways if it's earlier.
Think so. We're pretty close, right?
that's the hope.
It seems really well done and
Yeah.
crossed most of the Ts. Thank you for all that.
The crosswalk issue.
Yeah.
I don't know if the ZBA would require them to do it as part of a condition of approval, that is a possibility. So, you know, they could say the town should do it, but they could say that the applicants should do it.
I think last time I remember for the minutes, did we say that you guys might design it and then the town builds it or
Yes.
something like
I'm
that?
pretty sure that's what it was. They would take up the cost of design
And then have the
and
town
then have
build
a
it.
town building. Because it's really, I mean, across the street's paint. And I think what you have to do is, they probably do a curb cut. And mid cross, is that what they call it, mid-section curb cut,
Yeah, like a triple grand.
so they come out,
I
yes.
don't know how wide the sidewalk is.
Well, over, the one that's here is pretty wide.
Is it really wide?
Yeah, that's the big one,
Yeah, we leave the plan to second.
right?
Yeah, they probably, DPW probably won't do that themselves, I think.
The design.
Well, no, the construction.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think we talked about that. Yeah, you guys shouldn't have to do construction.
But it really does tie in with a walkable downtown, so
Right.
it ties right, you know, master plan and all that type of stuff, so. Town should want it as much as anybody.
So maybe we add that to the letter as part of the walkable downtown.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, we could,
recommended.
we could say, or that there is a suggested condition that the applicant design a crosswalk on Church Street. To be ultimately installed by the DPW. And of course, we can't direct the DPW to do it, so.
But the board of selectmen could, like if the ZBA wrote a letter to the board of selectmen.
And I think that's what we were trying to do,
Right.
was get enough so that the selectmen did make that choice.
But it'd be nice to have, you know, if you're walking down Main Street to cut through this, like, and then go down Pierce. To Blake, you'd have a nice little walk, I was downtown.
Right. Fits all of the, checks all the boxes.
And if I may real quick, because I wasn't privy to some of the previous meetings, was there any, you know, ideal location I'm kind of looking for? I'm thinking for the purpose of designing it, just want to make sure ADA grades are still fine and things of that nature. I know we're saying close to this bridge here. But would it make sense to have it like on this side, or does it make sense to be off of the access path? Because at least in my mind, what I would envision would be somewhere along the sidewalk prior to that access easement,
Yeah.
makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
Well, the bridge does have a pretty long stone wall.
It does, yeah, the bridge is all, it's got the big.
Yep.
You know, granite and everything. I would think, the things you'd have to consider obviously is what's the line of traffic normally at the red light?
Yes.
That'd be the first thing to be able to get your measurements, but keeping it as close to that, isn't that an entrance area between the two buildings?
Yes.
Like on, but no, yeah, there,
There,
Here, yeah,
there.
this would be a
Yeah, I would think right
I
there.
would think right
Okay.
there, because it would be far enough back from the length of cars waiting to get through. People could see it and know it's coming. And
Of course, you have to consider the location of the driveway across the street.
Of course.
So
Right.
that's really gonna dictate where you put it with there.
yeah.
But somewhere in this general ballpark. That's good enough for me, just.
Yeah.
I
It's
appreciate
better
it.
to look at it person, not with that.
Yeah, so thank you.
I know that anytime we've done the walking downtown, it's the sidewalks, trying to go across the openings where the lights are, you feel a little nervous just trying to go across there
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
a
such a
double
wide.
crosswalk with the island in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is really shortening that distance, even though, you know, it's rerouting you around. Downtown a little bit,
Mm,
but that's where all the crossing issues are. It's, you know, Church and South Street, so
right.
bring people around that better, or give them the option.
Okay. So I don't know if we haven't had an application for so long. Do we vote to move it forward or it doesn't matter? I think we're all in agreement, it's ready to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, you could just specify if you could. Make a vote to recommend in favor and then. Stipulate, is it just those 3 points you want me to add to the letter? So the waiver of the buffer strip, the planter boxes in lieu of the bollards and wheel stops, and the crosswalk on Church Street.
Those are the only three I have written.
Do we want to add anything about the valet drop off or leave that.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a bad idea is to add that in. For, when is the ballet coming, in April?
Yeah, but there were also discussions that the way our bylaws are written right now, that like could be done.
Right. Oh, is
Right,
that-
Well,
with the-
it's the drop off spot that would be like, there's 4 towns, that's in, Maynard, they allow like a drop off spot coming out from the road where normally we wouldn't want paving in front of the building, but they require pavers to make it look nice, so it's just a drop off spot, so. You know, we just want to control that, make sure it looks nice. This is
Yes,
just asphalt.
So should we say, should the applicant decide to do a valet drop off spot, we were in agreement that you were fine with it. And then if you decide to do it, you decide to do it, if you don't, you don't, you
yeah,
know, like,
but where it just sort of keeps it,
Yeah, cause you could also put it in the
Conversation.
parking lot itself where you pull in and make that a little wider, maybe. You know, make it, take away some of the greenery next to the mobile station and have a drop off spot there to. You know, change the sidewalk a little bit, but that's up to you guys, that's.
Well, I personally, I mean, I think you're safer if you use the
easement.
You know.
because
Yeah,
that- that's a
yeah.
very
And-
busy street.
And I think it would look better if you put a little bow right there.
Yeah.
If it's
I
here.
think you meant like a decorative bow, I'm
No,
like,
no.
okay.
Not a pretzel shape.
I'll do it.
Yeah, because I mean, at least that, again, you don't realize it until you are walking, that the speed and the size of the vehicles and everything else.
Yeah.
They're so close to you that, and especially in a setting where you are letting somebody out in a chair or whatever they need.
Could be kids,
Yeah.
it just,
But yeah, in our city, you can do it.
I would
driveway,
prefer it
do
in the easement
Driving on the.
if possible.
Yeah, I think that's a really good,
I mean, maybe that helps what you're trying to do if there's just a little pull in and pull out right at the entrance of that easement. It
Right.
looks like, oh, this is a drop off, I don't actually pull it. here.
Right,
right.
Yeah. Yeah, you can line that.
So along this,
So it helps on so many levels. Now you can get to utilize that space a little bit more
mhm,
than just dressing it up
yeah,
and,
Well, as I said, it plans for the future too with self-driving cars, they're gonna have the ability to drop off people at the door and then park themselves. And it's.
You mean,
Yeah, right.
doesn't have a
Well, I
seat,
say
you
it's.
jump around.
Taxes.
you're gonna do better than they do at the bistro, that's for sure.
no, I have a friend, he drops himself off, goes in a restaurant, and his car goes and parks itself.
Yeah.
It does it now.
Yeah, okay, so see how it's the future,
I think it's just a.
it's going to be more.
And then when we're leaving, he goes like that, he goes outside, his car's right there.
It's just so weird.
So yes, but
See a
still,
car with
reverse
one
and
person in it, I'd probably go off the road.
Right.
And then you've got a, you know, for the other building, you do have a drop off spot kind of built in right there.
Right, yeah,
And it's good to mention it too. I think that putting it in the,
yeah, it
The
just
letters
keeps it in the
yeah.
conversation,
right.
yeah.
It's good try.
But where the car's gonna park itself. It could be anywhere, really.
You could park at the electric vehicles,
They
yeah.
definitely won't be able to find it now.
The problem.
I don't know where my car
It's not going
parked.
Anywhere.
Don't know.
Okay, so I kind of have a draft letter, but we don't have to, they don't have to be part of it if they wanted to move on, it's up to you guys.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is just saying, let the design review committee review the application. And as a board, we would recommend to waive the 10-foot side setback. And then this is another sentence, and we'll have to decide where we put it in, but we reviewed the buildings, landscaping, fixtures and materials and feel it was well done. Like, cause we're not an approval board. And then we say, should the ZBA approve the project, we recommend, blah, blah. Just, that's just basic wording, but I can forward it to you.
Yeah,
But either way, I think this is great. This could be so nice. I'm already ready to come visit the restaurant.
Can we put some of this in the design review guide?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that would be this is what we're looking for. Here it is, this it is.
Good to
I
you.
was thinking
We're
2
gonna have
years
to
we're gonna have to
we're
do
gonna-
the design.
We're gonna have to do it, yeah, use our building every. Different sections of it,
But it's,
do the living wall and everything.
yeah,
But great job.
you guys
Thank
are
you.
gonna do a motion, so it's official.
how do you wanna motion it? I'll so move, but.
Yeah.
What's the actual motion that we?
I mean,
We
we
approve
that.
the,
Send a a recommendation letter to the zoning board of appeals, subject to these, 4 bullet points. So it would be waiver of the buffer strip. Planter boxes in lieu of bollards and wheel swings. Crosswalks on Church Street to be designed by the applicant but installed by the town. And recommend in favor of a valet drop off. Should the applicant decide to proceed with that in a location to be determined.
To be approved or reviewed or something like that, yeah.
You're gonna make it, Lisa, is that what you're writing?
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything.
You say I make a motion to, or what exactly Laura just said.
Starts to.
Yeah.
That means taking
Does
this.
that work? Is that-
Yeah.
So I can so move that one. Yeah, okay, we can get a second. So,
Seconds.
All right, we just have to raise our hands, right? We're not Zoom.
hello.
Alright, great.
So we're
I'm
fine.
thinking, remember.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to take a picture of the.
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, actually, do we have to PDF?
I can send it to you.
Oh, okay.
And this is the first step. I think the goal is to.
Well, I think that.
And, you know, just sort of
Send it, saying, there you go, go publish it.
Oh. You mean the advocate?
Yeah.
If
The
they're-
price is not here, but.
We're having
Then.
the site.
Really, I like that writing desk you have.
I know, it's a two sheet. It's
That's very annoying.
Oh, that's funny, it's a cookie sheet.
it's a cookie. Perfect.
I've
And
never-
and it fits into the little green.
Recycled.
What are the things that other than? I know our cookies you at home all have to be really late or season.
This is.
Oh, yellow.
Everybody wants this. You have a copy of this?
I don't see all of
We've
it.
got so many extras.
Oh, okay. I just want to take it home because I have so many things.
I do have a stack of this stuff, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but like.
They might be able to use it to CBA.
One more second.
Yeah.
Haven't made it. One less to print the ZBA.
Well, say, if we post the PDF only on our website or?
So I,
It's different.
so what ends up happening is when they file with ZBA, then. They'll create a new.
This is beautiful, yeah. This has to be.
So right now, we only have enough.
Oh. Okay, it could be done all, yeah. No, I definitely think it's a.
Keep it on. Yeah, sure, that's normally set up, so.
Well, work it this way.
Hopefully by the time we get to ZBA, there'll be nothing left to talk about, it'll be like.
That'll be really nice. Yes.
Maybe 2
Move
meetings.
things along, yeah.
Tell them to watch that design review because to them it's new. Or we've been talking about it for forever.
Right.
Just,
Right.
so there's 10 front. We're doing 2 for the.
So then, so it ends up being a horizontal mixed use development. So it's a special permit from the ZBA. I already did the calculation, so the 10 apartments are work given the size of the parcel.
Yeah.
Wait, do all 10 count? The SH.
Oh, well, she wanted to do 1 unit, so.
Well, then that's 2 that you can send, you do all 10. That'd be a nice.
Actually, now you're gonna be in the inclusionary zoning. So it's rounded up, so now you have to do 2.
Two?
But it counts as 10 for the town, so it's nice.
And when you bring the building up, it's going to.
No,
It won't.
No, because.
I thought rentals do.
40D.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah,
of.
if they, she gets a congress, if she does it voluntarily, then it would just give us the full counting with the SH and the
What works better
Can
for
talk to town council.
town
Yeah,
numbers?
check on that,
Yeah,
because,
that
because if you to do two, and it counts as 10, then that'll make it some difference, I think.
I thought
Because that would be
rentals
20%,
count in
right?
ownership,
So that would be better.
It's a pretty development.
Yeah. But this would be a friendly forty B,
So then
right?
it has to be 25% if it's rental.
Yeah.
But it's
Pretty.
20.
By the way, you have
Oh,
a,
it's
you
a
have
package.
a recent
Yeah,
copy of the
so
guidelines.
if you had 25%.
So this is what we have,
Then,
so.
but I don't
there's
get,
something-
because this isn't a permit, this is a, just a regular special.
Mm,
So if you did the comprehensive permit,
Continue to.
then you would have to get approval from the state. And then you'd have to get approval from the town.
that sounds like a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like an epic delay problem, unfortunately.
But your willingness to do two, that'll certainly help with the SHI.
That's the town numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Yeah. Unless the one on the front, if you just did one big apartment versus two, then you don't make the 10. Or you do two.
Well, the two of the two walk-ups are gonna be different from when the other people get an elevator, so.
I guess there are things you can think about.
That's on you, John.
yeah, they know. But I thought it was right when it was done.
We're all set.
And if you know better than me, but
Bye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I get my information from ChatGPT and stuff like that, which embarrasses me
So
sometimes.
what time is it now? Time is 10:55.
Somebody forgot to set the clock.
Yeah, I was
Right.
thinking about that, it's way off,
Is it 8 hours? or
several
4
hours.
I do have a hard cutoff at 12. I don't know
Yes,
if anyone has one earlier.
Maybe there's something.
Yeah. So the next on the agenda is a continued discussion of design review guidelines, planting recommendations, a scorecard rubric, and parking regulations. And then there are minutes. I wonder if we should do the minutes first,
We're
just,
probably pushing the limit on some of the minutes, aren't we?
yeah,
Well, June, July's, you got 3 months.
maybe we do the minutes fast and get them done. I know Lisa's,
Yeah, cause you've already edited them when you do
Yeah.
the stuff, so.
and Lisa has some edits to the October 16th.
Yeah.
Did you have any since September 11th?
I didn't, well,
You know, cause I mean, we could just approve the July one.
Do you need minutes?
I only had the October 16th here in my package, if you have the others.
I don't,
So you had changes to.
I did, I actually I was unable, I only have my phone in New Hampshire. I didn't have any email.
Okay, so you emailed them to Abby then?
No, I
She printed it.
printed it out
Oh,
because I couldn't get it from my phone anywhere.
okay.
I don't have the right, my,
Were you guys changing the same sentences?
I don't know, I haven't checked either. We could skip both copies to Abby and talk about the October 16th and the next one.
yes, let's do
We
that.
can just combine the two, her minute changes and my minute changes,
sure.
and then if any overlap, I can check, or you can check. So maybe October 16th will bump, so she has time to combine the two.
I can send it to you on text.
I mean, whatever, I can work with this, if you wanna send it to me too, feel free to do that.
Did you have time to look at September 11th, Lisa, or do you wanna do that next time?
I would do September next time, because I do think there was some stuff that we had asked. The applicant, was she in July? This applicant we just had
She was in September,
in September.
yeah, September 11th.
Yeah, so yes, because I think we had asked to do some of the letters and stuff like that, which would be, I haven't looked at it.
Okay, so we haven't read them yet, we don't have to do, but you looked at July, right?
Yeah, and I think July's.
I
think
made
I've
some
already
changes
said
to July, so maybe we'll just approve July.
Right,
And next meeting, you've done October, so then you'll just look at September,
yes.
okay? So do I have a motion to approve the July 31st, 2025 minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we just have to raise our hand. So we're all set with the July minutes, we'll bump September and October to the next meeting. So now we'll get back to the guidelines. and scorecard rubric. Which do you wanna start? Do you wanna start with your
I
rubric,
think we
Mark?
can go through the checklist pretty quickly,
Okay,
I mean. And. So what I did was I took the changes that Laurie had suggested, we had some that we had already previously suggested. And they're side by side now, so we can see the differences, and I. Other than the ones that are new bylaws from the planning board, there were no additions, right? I had some questions, just.
were you red? Or is that Lori, who did the red type?
Laurie is the red in the second column, the original is on the left.
Okay, and you're the red on the
Yeah,
third column?
yeah, so, in things where she didn't change something, but she did strike out something that's included in the red. And mostly just, changing, get rid of shall and say did, because, they're reviewing in back tennis, so.
So for the first one. We're change the wording where multiple buildings are proposed. On a single lot. Buildings to the rear of the site face the access road that serves them. Or a courtyard.
But I believe I took that language directly from the zoning.
Okay,
The double check, it's been so long.
I know,
Yeah,
I know, I didn't check any of
I
this
mean,
either,
I
yeah.
don't object to the language anyway, so it's.
Okay, did you write change by law? To say may, not
Well,
shall?
that was the previous one, because back when it was saying, when they are proposed, the bylaw does say shall, it probably should say may. But.
But that's a zoning change.
Well, that's a planning board discussion, not here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, just in the case of Middle East property, technically it's one lot with multiple buildings, but because it has people access. It's just more forgiving to say may.
When we get may though, if we really want the buildings. To face the access road, you get a may and then people start changing.
Right,
Then
but
they don't face the access road anymore.
right, but in Millie's case, we don't want them to face the access road, we want them to face Main Street. So it's not always.
Well, then isn't it consistent if you keep it shall, then you go get a variance to.
Well, you could add something unless on a corner lot or something like that.
And does our bylaw say access road or? Does it say face the street?
I could put that link.
I know. That's it, well, it says seven, I got my book, 709-020D.
Yeah, it's saying, already, so. Then 4 corner lots, so then.
The front facade of a new building. Shall be oriented towards the street.
So the language is slightly different. In D1 versus E1.
Oh, so it's in both.
So, yeah, I think I kind of tried to cover it.
Remember, this is just a check, so.
Right.
Yeah,
But if it matches the bylaw, it would be good, because they're gonna have to follow the bylaw anyways.
yeah, so under D1A, it says the front facade of a new building and the building's principal entry shall be oriented toward the street. For a development with more than one building on a single lot or a development with multiple lots, buildings located to the rear of a site shall face the access road that serves them. For the buildings, where appropriate, a building may be oriented around a courtyard or respond in design to a prominent feature such as a corner location, subject to review by the design review committee and approval by the planning board or special permit granting authority. So. So
Should say-
this is where it refers to multiple buildings.
Oh, okay, because you have multiple buildings, yeah. And then a couple down, the main entrance of the building faces the street. Is for single,
Yeah,
Correct.
and one of the requests was to switch the order of those two. So that the single building comes first, cause,
Maybe we do that, the single building is the first thing on the list.
yeah,
Multiple is the second.
Yeah.
Just so it makes sense to people. Do you mind, Lori, moving
Yeah.
that? And then the third one is the new one.
so the new one, I just questioned the 7 feet, because we only have sidewalks only 5 feet minimum.
That is a requirement. That was just approved in 2024,
Okay, so did we change the minimum sidewalk width to 7 from 5?
7 feet, yeah.
Okay. So that's okay.
That was just changed last year. Are the new books out yet?
Wow. I was just talking to Abby about that. I've been with the slow cog. I wanted to do one final proofread before we sent it to the printer. And I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So. See, it's not so.
It's busy, I understand, like by the time we go from one meeting to the next, it's like how did the time fly?
Exactly. So 2024.
We got out of our house.
Yeah. Actually, the online version is now updated,
Okay.
so we should be able to get that hyperlink.
If it's updated, we also have to check our links,
Make sure they're all right. Is that something you would want to do, Mark? I'm not saying it, but.
I
I
can't
will
tell.
be happy to work with that.
It's gonna cut into my solitaire time.
That would really help you out.
Okay.
So you, Mark.
Well, and then
check the
I
hyperlink.
can, then I can update the sheet too.
Yeah,
As
yes, thank
long
you.
as,
That would be great if you could pick that up.
all right, did we go through the one that says the front facade, the main entrance of the new building faces the street versus the main entrance of the building faces the street? I don't see any reason to object to that change. That's. So, okay,
Yeah, so there were some where in my red, I was just asking to include the 2 hyperlinks.
oh, okay,
So
so that's okay.
you've got that
Yeah.
one correct, and then I have an additional one, I was having trouble doing that.
There's no changes to the next one, the one after that, we just removed for residential buildings.
Because this is understood as, everything on here is commercial industrial.
Downtown business.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Just downtown business?
Design review is different for industrial.
So for each district, it will be different.
All the commercial businesses are similar, right? It's just. Industrial is different.
Cause I mean, that would be a good spot, I mean, it should be like a little note somewhere.
Yeah, I think we have it over here.
Yeah, this.
But these go, oh.
On the district, that's good to have that.
Yeah, the district, that's very good.
Is that everybody okay with?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, there's no changes, the one after that is the main entrance of the building is articulated through use of architectural detailing. We just added front facade and an entrance of the principal building.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was omitted, that was
Yeah.
in the standard.
And
Yeah.
so you're adding it back?
Yeah, I think I oversimplified some of these things when we first did. All right, the next one is the new one, building does not face the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that one.
Yeah.
Now, you wrote it.
I wrote it. The new
Yeah, it's in
building
red.
does not face the parking lot. The renovation project.
I mean, that is in the guidelines,
But doesn't say the new building does not face the parking lot.
well, because it's written as a checklist, so she changed the wording about that, so we can just check it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand what I wrote.
You can reword it.
So,
But we
Well,
do,
that's what I'm saying, would building renovations even come before us, so
it actually
Yeah,
does,
yeah. It
they
does,
do,
yeah.
okay, so I'll cross off that note.
but not in industrial, only in business.
Yeah, this says all districts.
Oh, okay, so we can fix that. Let me see. Cause if you go to. Actually, in the front of the design guideline. I noticed Medway did it and then I looked at ours, I'm like, oh, we do it too.
I think this is
New
supposed to say
construction
the
exterior.
building does not, the existing building does not face the parking. That's what it is.
So in any business district, new construction or exterior alterations. Or expansion.
I'm gonna have a look at this one, because this one doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. So the next two, there's no changes, so those are easy. And then. The one after that is simply removing the bylaw reference in the note because it's also on the link.
Yeah, I just.
And it should correct a bunch of those, a bunch of spots, so.
Okay.
Can we just go back for a second, on the one that Laura's gonna look at, when the building is not faced, if it doesn't face it, right now. You've got, what's the building next to the new fire station,
A video, we wouldn't wanna rearrange that though.
the other side?
I don't know, but that would fit this
So
too.
back up.
Hillside Grill, yeah, thank you. So Hillside Grill takes that center and faces it into that parking lot,
Yeah,
which we don't ever wanna have happen again. That whole thing was a bad idea. Because then they had to take the back of the building and face it to the road and then build a little doorway and then build a little portico on the doorway and try to make it look like that was the front.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
This writing would indicate that you,
Well, but
Put
that
the
all,
building on.
that also comes into that
would fix
first,
it.
first one with the multiple buildings on a common lot.
They said if there's a renovation to the building, then they have to. Reorient it.
yeah, but that's never gonna really happen, is it?
No, and I don't think
Say
it
new businesses have gone in there and renovated, so.
Yeah, but the businesses take their section, they don't take the entire building. It's like getting that multiple sign going up as opposed to having 17 signs in.
maybe it should say an exterior renovation project, because it's not really, if they're renovating the inside, then they don't have to move.
Yeah, you have to, so, yeah, seriously.
But I also feel like, you think of a Vidya Bank. The main entrance, I mean, you could walk in the front door if you're a pedestrian.
Yeah, this,
But the main entrance is in the back, I wouldn't want them to switch their building around.
No, they are.
Right.
No, but that's set up like that, where again, it's facing your street.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, is that if your front facing should be front facing the street. Okay, and then if there's parking in the back, you're not, you're not making it so it's like Hillside. Where that's all.
So Hillside would just have to have a better front facade to make it look like a pedestrian to walk in the front. But still, you could park in the back and
Yes,
walk in the
well, you
back.
could, you
Yeah.
could, but
you can't walk in the front right now, right? Those are just.
those are just back, yeah, I don't believe it, you can't just walk in those, can you, Lauren?
I'm sorry, I've been reading this and not paying attention.
Bob might know, if you walk in those doors on Hillside,
Hillside Grill, the doors that face the street, that look like the
Yeah, I'm pretty
access
sure you
doors.
can. Of course, the sidewalk is outdated, so I don't think anybody is actually doing
Yeah.
that.
But it's like,
They
a
have
house,
to
you know, you got a
scale
front
the
door.
hill in order to-
Yeah, most houses have a front door on the street, you always go on the side.
No, here we are. So what? What I got this from is building placement and orientation on page 12. It says the front building facade should be oriented toward the street. Where appropriate, the building may be oriented around the courtyard or respond in design to another prominent feature. Buildings should not be oriented towards parking lots. During renovations, consider reorienting building entrances that face parking lots. So I need to reword that because that's not what that says.
but we were thinking for number 8, well, for that, you should probably say exterior renovation. Because if they're just renovating the inside of the building, they probably aren't gonna
Yeah, I would think.
change the way they face the street.
Okay.
We're on the second page now.
If you wanna reword it, though, just email it to me and I'll just. cut it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, top of the second page, we got rid of the one that says. Yards enhance the attractiveness of the building and viewscape. I would assume that's because we're reviewing it, we don't see. the
It's gonna
board.
stay on.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
okay,
also-
redundant, okay, that's fine. Good repetition. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, next one just removes the reference because it's also a link. We go down, next three are all no changes. Then there's a new one. I thought that was already in there, but if it's not, then I have no problem with it.
Why does it on open space just say new? And then you've got full description over in the second column.
Because I added it, it wasn't
It
in
wasn't
the
there.
matrix before.
So will this come over here? Does
Well,
this
this,
come over here?
the whole,
Yeah, this
the
whole-
whole left-hand column goes,
Yeah,
Oh, I get.
yeah, and we, we approved the second column and then the first column goes away. So we just, this is just for review,
Sorry.
but I think that
I
it's
didn't-
written well and everything as far as I know, so.
Yeah,
We okay with that, Lisa?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially now that I know how it works.
Yeah, then the next two, there's no changes. There's another new one. So I have a question on this one because we say the sidewalks are composed of 4-inch thick concrete, where we would have no way to measure that. So can we
it's in
review?
the details on the plans, it'll show 4 inches.
Okay, so on the plans,
and that should say concrete, not cement.
Reinforced concrete, because cement
No,
concrete.
Cement is
on
part-
Yeah.
2 minutes. So I'm differentiating between cement concrete and the 2-inch concrete.
you okay with that?
Well,
I guess so, but isn't cement part of concrete?
well, the look is,
Yeah.
It
well,
could, but
Cement-
there is also the 2-minute concrete, which is the black stuff.
yeah, I don't love the wax. I mean, that to me really takes down a visual.
So I just wanted to clarify that I'm looking for cement concrete, not.
I wonder if the parentheses are not the 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
To make it clear.
and what's the name of the one that you were talking about that's the mono, that doesn't have the,
Oh, monolithic
yeah,
curb.
yeah.
So that means that the concrete sidewalk and the curb are poured in a single elevation. So there's no seam between like granite curb and cement concrete is usually the configuration you see, and there's a seam where the weeds grow in. With the monolithic, there is no seam, so you don't have that weed problem.
Can we donate?
We have that to the
Can we add
guidelines,
that to the guidelines? Because that's part of the look.
you know, like we,
Yeah, you know, like leaves.
Well, that's where the water gets into and starts the.
Underline the, yeah.
Now, so granite is hardier than concrete, so you can have granite curb that'll last 100 years. You know, you have to have it reset every once in a while. You don't have the same longevity with concrete curb. So that will chip eventually. So there are pluses and minuses. So definitely like on a sidewalk that abuts a road, typically you want the granite because of the longevity. And the fact that you have the snow plows going against it all the time. Whereas interior to a site, you may be okay with the monolithic.
Yes, and I agree with that, and I agree with having that. I don't like seeing the bituminous, and the bituminous curb lasts even less.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not even used to keeping it on there, because it takes one car to drive over it and you get crushed. Because a good example is Summer Street. You go down Summer Street where there's some granite, it's still there. But then, because people like to park on the sidewalks, you know what? They're not parking lots and they're not built for the weight or the tire crush or anything else. So what what I would suggest is with making that, that might be another glossary word too, we need to put
In the
in
guidelines.
the guidelines.
Well, we could put it in the parking section if you wanna specify that.
Sidewalk, which is,
So interior parking areas should have concrete, monolithic concrete curb, so you think?
yeah, I would think that would look better, and then the walkway, and just the. I know the bituminous costs less money, but it just never, it doesn't look great with a lighter curb. So they do the black on black, I've even seen it in downtown Westboro that all the antique homes are on. And they were beautiful cement sidewalks with the granite curb, and then one day they were bituminous with the granite. That did not look good. 100-year-old house. I mean,
So a lot of towns, what they do is the roundings. So of course you have your access drive that goes into the area. So the roundings are granite because they're hardier. And then they transition to the monolithic concrete.
That's really a guideline change, though, not a checklist change.
Right.
So we-
Yeah, so I'm putting it here in the parking
Okay,
section.
okay, and I'm saying reword,
Yeah,
so,
But I mean, don't you agree with?
oh, yeah, I don't object anyway, Just to keep moving on though, so the next 3, there's no changes, well, the next 7, there's no changes. The one under bicycle accommodations, all we did was remove the reference that's already a link. Sure, it's the same, yeah. Okay, now, the last one under bicycle accommodations. Did add or in a location protected from the weather, makes sense. So, I have no objection to that, anybody?
No.
It's- The next change is,
Goes along with the sidewalks.
yeah, here's that concrete.
Yeah.
Turns out I already put it in there. So
Okay,
we modified that in
In the bylaws.
2024.
Now, I know that the 6 inches is because you want to be able to take roads that once they're repaved, that it goes up a little bit. That's why you have the 6-inch
yeah,
reveal.
kind of standard, isn't it, everywhere?
No,
I
nowadays.
mean, it's 5 to 7 inches is what I.
Oh, also, if you do the vertical concrete, then you don't need the concrete field stops. So it ends up looking neater. Versus the berm. Or no curb at all.
No, curbs are really important.
And it also directs the stormwater flow.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that they were supposed to have them, is to direct the water. So even on the streets, when you pave streets without the sidewalk, it's supposed to have a berm that goes down and superior the water where it goes to. Because again, this is for when people are building something, right? We're bringing a new project in and the person is helping to make the roads look more conformed, assuming correct. And so, I mean, when I look at the example of what we've done at Gale, and Gale is like, it's so high that you put granite on both sides in certain areas, and then had to put a retaining wall in front of somebody's front yard because of the way the landscape. That was surprising and a little concerning that looks like that.
Is that 6 inches?
But then they built it up. So if you go out there today, they put the landscape right up, so it's flush. It's no longer that big drop in elevation that they had while it was under construction.
Yes, in the beginning of it, and as you go up the hill, and you get up to the top of the hill before Monroe, there's a greenhouse. And I've got pictures of the greenhouse in different years, and it's kind of had a sloping front, which you didn't notice it was really a sloping front because it was gradual. And all of a sudden, now you've got this thing in front of the house, and they had to put a retaining wall on.
Well, the challenge though is you gotta remember, the sidewalks have to be ADA compliant. So you have a maximum vertical and horizontal slope. So back in the old days, sidewalks weren't ADA compliant, so you wouldn't have to see that, but today, when they build new sidewalks, they have to comply. So that's why it's different than if it were built 20, 30 years ago.
It just, I mean, that it totally different than what they did on Allen Street, which was scrape the grass out, put bituminous on, leave the old bituminous curb on, and that has 18 wheels. On a regular basis, so it's like, we have to have some better consistency on,
Well, because in the downtown, we wanted to have concrete sidewalks.
and I like
And-
them, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is you have to then extend it a little bit further, because that's still kind of a, you know, it's on the loop that people do walk. But it's, if you're putting in the assets from the town to build something, you talk about needing curbs because of traffic on the road, then it would make sense that if a regular road like that, which is a connector road, so to speak, because they can't go into the bridge. So all truck traffic will go on Allen Street. And knowing that, and I've got pictures of 2 18-wheelers doing this, one of them that crashed into the guardrail because it couldn't make the turn. So you've got people now walking with, if you have a handicap, in a wheelchair, you've got children and baby carriages and stuff like that. And you just have this little bituminous thing that's half broken anyway.
Yeah, that is DPW. So the DPW maintains, public ways. So our jurisdiction in the planning department just has to do with new subdivisions. So we don't have any jurisdiction over how DPW maintains existing sidewalks and roads.
I mean, you could have the select board say these streets should. Non-bituminous, but that maybe would be traffic and safety people too, but
Well,
I don't know, no one's looking into it.
yeah, maybe that would be something that I would certainly, write a letter about, because you've got country roads. Right, you've got certain roads that are said, okay, you're gonna be a country road, and you voted in. So you should, I think, do the same thing with this. And that, again, it's for the pedestrian, it's for the person who's walking in the road and the safety of the person walking in the road. So that obviously it's gonna cost more money to do it that way, but in the long term, it lasts longer as well.
Maybe you could write that up if
Okay,
you have,
But this is just about,
yeah.
right, this isn't for this.
This is just for, cause
okay,
I sometimes
but
get.
I did look it up, 6 inches is the DOT standard anyway, so that's.
Yeah, but you should put that together, maybe that's not for the board of selectmen, that there are certain roads.
Yeah, just to try to keep all of, I mean, we're doing this and that. I mean, maybe what we should do with this is show the difference of what these guidelines are actually going to cover. Because you start thinking, oh, they're guidelines.
Well, they
We
only
don't
cover over
cover.
here, whatever it's in the district.
Yeah,
Got over 100 checklist items anyway, so, but we can write that up and propose it later.
all right, that's good. Just remind me.
So are we
You have to
okay
remind
with
yourself.
adding the curb height of 6 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a new standard.
It's a new bylaw,
Yeah.
yeah.
Adopted.
So what's the inventory for non-residential and multifamily? Then there's another new one coming up here. Oh, yes, no off-street parking is located within a minimum of, that one. Which if you look 2 items later. Is very similar. So do you want to, we don't have to add a new one, we can change the wording of the one.
To
right
combine
after.
the two of them,
Yeah,
Well, they're in different locations though.
different districts.
So this one, the top one in red is in the downtown neighborhood district. And the 1-2 doors down is in all districts, so it's also a standard. But in a different area of those zoning bylaw, so that's why I didn't combine them.
I wonder if we should have one after the other then.
Yeah, we could put them together back to back,
Yeah.
because they kind of read the same to me.
Yeah.
Even though they're different. So can we combine, come up with common wording and just add the two districts? But one's all districts, so.
Well, maybe what I could do is call out what isn't spoken to two spaces down. So
Yeah.
whatever is unique for downtown neighborhood, that's all that's in that line. How's that?
Yeah, sounds good.
And we'll move those two bullets there.
Right. So I'll let you do that first and send it to me, and I'll update this. Yeah, we skipped the one that we just removed the minor proposed to be because it's been the past, we're waiting on the checklist.
Which one is that, the one?
The one in between, we just, it used to say proposed to be, and now it just says it does, you know, so it makes sense. Hence what this is. Else, okay. Okay, so going down to after that, there was, it used to say on the building with a front parking lot is participated. Just even that sentence. Sentence, it's like.
He's just very psyched.
Minor wording changes, so.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, so.
Yeah.
You okay, Lisa?
At the bottom of that page in red, under the review notes,
Yeah,
suggest that we always because single family homes are not subject to design review committee. But if it's in the residential district downtown, do we have one?
So this speaks to any sort of non-single family use. Well, actually, this is in the OSRD.
Yeah, so that's an open.
I should probably get rid of it.
sorry. Yes.
Open space residential district.
Okay. Delete,
Yeah, do we have?
I guess we delete it, because if it's part of the overlay, we would read all of them.
Yeah,
Overlay
we don't
details.
have any of the overlay standards.
Yeah,
Cause I
yeah.
have to add the.
Oh my god,
Family one and all, yeah.
yeah, delete that one.
alright, now I'm probably gonna get lost with what the next page is. If it.
For buildings that are larger,
Yeah, okay.
I think,
And those are just. Minor changes, oh, well, actually read that one because it seemed to change the meaning to me. But. At the same time, it really just confused me.
I think it's because that's what those design guidelines said. But let me double check.
It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning when I was going through this too, so.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. So on page 17, under building massing, halfway through. For buildings that are larger than the adjacent buildings, the apparent scale of a larger building can be reduced through design elements such as smaller scaled architectural features, creating an irregular footprint, varying building height or massing, and incorporating roof articulations or changes in slope.
so then the red should still be there, right? Cause you crossed off through design elements. So should we not, if what you just read. Included that,
Yeah, so mine. So. Yeah, I just thought that it wasn't necessary to include through design elements such as. I think I just said. is reduced through smaller scale architectural features, so I just simplified the wording for that.
Oh, okay, so the through should be still there,
True.
can be reduced, with or through or by using. Don't you think there's a word missing?
No,
Can be
it's there,
reduced,
so-
smaller scale. See, there, mine through is crossed out.
Sorry, I'm still.
Oh, no,
Okay.
well, that's,
This
Went
work.
through with the-
Oh,
it's actually.
oh, okay, I was just looking at. the
Okay,
red.
so that does make sense, so I was just confused, so
Okay,
everybody okay with that?
yeah,
Yeah, and is that the same wording now that's back, that's in the design?
I just eliminated through design elements such as,
Yeah.
just
Right,
made
but-
it a little
But
simpler.
when you read it here, in the guidelines, does that?
I think it,
Same
I
words.
think it does, let's see.
Yeah, we don't want to launch into the old guidelines anyway, cause we can,
You know, I'm just saying that before the catalogs.
It does say through design elements such as.
So we can make a
Introduced.
note on that to just, to mirror this one.
well, yeah, we list a bunch of things that are design elements, so it's kind of obvious, you know, it's, so. I don't have a problem getting rid of that.
No, no, we're not.
which one are we keeping, we're keeping the second row?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it the second row. Now I'm reading the next one and I thought there was a missing S, but now I look at it again,
It's red.
yeah, I added that, that's why it's red, but I don't think I should have. Well,
What-
should it be,
what-
the proposed buildings avoid is correct, right? So I was reading.
Buildings avoid.
I said building avoids, so, okay, I mean. I'll just get rid of that S,
So you can put in parentheses on,
yeah,
if you read it either
well,
way.
because then you got buildings also,
Yes,
it's,
it's just
yeah, so I was
if
just.
it's buildings.
Overly tight.
If it's one building, it would be avoids.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, and I just pressed it the wrong way, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, the next one is just getting rid of.
Yeah.
That introduction, is that okay?
Yeah,
Shorter the better usually,
yes,
Hey, I like that.
then the next two under historical are just changing the tense basically, so that it should be simple. Okay,
Those are guidelines, right?
Yeah.
Because the state zoning for single family residential.
Yeah.
Guidelines fine, can't force it.
Yeah.
Okay.
say it's listed as next to last column.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, under materials. Just removing, there should be a strong preference. Just the fact that we're writing it as a guideline, and it says that. Okay. Synthetic
now,
materials.
one more thing, under materials, it says are shown, do we need that are shown? Authentic materials, specifically brick, stone, wooden shingles and clapboard. But then it
Well,
says are shown,
are shown meaning on the plans versus are used, I know, so I don't know, that's.
just cause I'm.
Yes, this is a checklist, so it was just like,
Oh.
when you're looking at it. This is what you're seeing.
I don't know, does that need to be there?
You just making it a complete sentence, so it doesn't verb.
Yeah, I'm not restricted by those rules.
Right,
I would use like, or used or. Well,
appropriate,
You know, whatever you want me to put, it's fine.
authentic natural materials, specifically brick, stone, wooden shingles and clapboard.
I used.
I used.
Recommended,
Yeah, recommended.
Recommended.
Well, no, because
No,
you're,
because
it's a checklist,
Yeah,
so you're
checklist, so
going
it's
to
fine.
this.
Get back to Sean. Yeah, she said.
It's
Okay.
shown because.
I guess I'm not
We're
reading the
reviewing it, we're doing
Yeah.
a checklist, building's not actually built, but it's shown on the plans.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
okay,
Okay, the next one, actually. Synthetic materials closely approximate natural materials. I would have left the any there, but I don't,
Yeah, I agree, I would take it.
Okay.
Now, Interestingly enough, the bank, the Central Wind Credit Union. Those aren't real bricks, that's all sprayed surface. And then they take this stick and they make the spaces in between. So what's the name of that?
Foam,
That's foam.
yeah,
that would be-
that's, yeah,
Yeah.
Synthetic.
it's basically a foam exterior facade with a scratch coat of.
Spray paint or something. on
What
it.
do they call it? It's not plastic, it's,
New England Bristol.
Yeah,
you know, and then they just put the design into it.
right,
you know.
so I mean, it looks
Just about
great.
all your storefronts up on the hill is all IFS.
Yeah.
EFS.
So that would get a check mark for synthetic materials closely
Yeah,
appropriate to
yeah,
that.
Yes.
And so
It's
the
synthetic,
next
but
one,
Then
is
there's
the
authentic.
new bylaw where metal or fiberglass is not used as a primary building finish material.
I think you have to probably then be specific.
I mean, that's a bylaw now,
Yeah, it's in our zoning.
which kind of, I mean, I would think if an architect were here, I think you're kind of handicapping them from using architectural panels.
So- I think it refers to
The body of it as a.
Like
The primary building,
the majority of it.
yeah,
It doesn't say you can't use metal as an accent.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
so you can't just have a metal.
Oh, okay,
You have to, you know, you could have like a metal frame and then put some sort of masonry facade.
okay.
Just so there was
So can I
a
change
comfort
the-
here.
Used as a primary building, can I change that to the primary building? Is that correct?
Okay, yeah, that'd be okay, the primary building finish, and then you know you can have accents.
Yeah.
Recommended in other districts. I'm just thinking it was, package buildings
Yes.
out in the industrial district. It's your call, but okay.
We don't want those downtown.
Yeah, and then the other question I have, grammar on that was, and you through. This, it sounds a bit awkward, metal or fiberglass is not used.
when is fiberglass used?
Your pre-made panels are usually fiberglass if they're.
I looked it up, yeah.
So like a storefront with the glass, with a fiberglass structure around it to hold it in.
Oh, they would use it like on cornice, you know, she's not using it, but she's doing precast, but they do often do cornices as a molded fiberglass.
Oh, is that right?
But then again, it's not a primary building.
Right, yeah,
Right, it's an accent.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay, so that makes more sense. So it's just. Metal or fiberglass is used or. I mean, that was kind of the. I think it's correct, grammar is correct to say is, but it sounds awkward.
Oh, it'd be R because it's checklist. You know, or fiberglass are not
Well, that's-
used as the
That's why
primary.
the
I
AI
think it would
recommend,
be R, well.
the AI recommendation was to change the sentence to say neither metal nor fiberglass is used as a primary building finish material.
So R,
I'm fine with that,
that sounds all right.
either metal nor
Neither one.
fiberglass are used.
Is I'll change it to the, okay.
It's interesting that building finish material, what about if it's. The finished material is the skin, right? It's not the structure. So how do you differentiate between the structure and the skin? Doesn't matter if it's like,
Take a look at for a quick example, look at the elevator staircase tower for the fire station.
okay,
At CMU concrete block is the structure. The
okay,
skin is the brickwork that's gonna go around.
okay. So. Let's see, cause I'm looking at like, I
We'll make
look at
it.
fiberglass and if there's finished material, to me, finished material means yeah, you know,
See.
next week, and
That's
that's
what
what
you said, yeah.
so,
at 1:30.
but fiberglass and like metal now, like they're using like a copper look, like really, you know, that's.
I mean, obviously, you got original copper, which is way expensive. I don't know if they have. I'm not that familiar with the really high tech materials. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of fiberglass, but there's some sort of treatment over it.
There's definitely metal wraps that.
Yeah, yeah,
that are-
Yeah, those are
Like,
usually anodized and.
yeah, because, but the fiberglass to me is like. I mean, when you're writing this building finish material, to me, finish material means, doesn't really mean skin. It
Yeah,
means
it's what,
decorative.
it's what you see,
Okay,
okay, not what's behind, you know, like 2x4s or that's the structure, the finished material is what you see.
Okay.
Yeah, I say as long as it's used as accents, I mean.
Okay.
Okay,
the
go on
next
to the
page.
next page. This is minor, if you go to the third one down, we added inoperable. I don't really think that's needed, but I don't feel that strongly, but I am.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to add it. I don't know if it would make or break the sentence.
Well, why did she add it? I mean, you can ask you.
Well, you know, of course, there are shutters that are often added on facades. But the actual language in the guideline says inoperable. Shutters,
Okay, so that's, it's
why.
there,
Oh, okay.
and that's fine.
Is shutters allowed?
No, they have to appear to be authentic, so that's all.
They have to,
You can't have,
Like,
you can't have like a skinny shutter next to a picture.
right, but that's then again, that's more residential.
Well, actually, I think the example was the one that goes down by the doors on some bank.
Oh, that's-
Yeah, the bank, the TDI bank has shutters.
On the door, yeah, that's like, the shutters are made to protect you, what's that gonna do? Stand there behind with the little your rifle when you were coming the old days, no, you.
Even back in the old days, nobody was that thin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they do an accordion, so they come across, but then they'd be thick and they look stupid.
Yeah.
But that's okay, I mean, we'll add inoperable and no problem with that.
And just to time check for everybody, it's like 15 minutes.
Right. But I think we can get to the end of it. If I
Yeah,
go
we could-
5-10 minutes over, I'm fine, but.
Yeah. Say the next one is just removing the word should, which should be automatic. All right, and then you change the sentence here. On the other one for storefronts, the project features awnings. Appropriately scaled signage, where it used to say appropriate scaled awnings, which I don't think the old way made any sense either, so,
I took the language from the guideline.
okay, so just with that.
Just keep in mind for awnings, if an awning projects less than 54 inches from the vertical face of the wall, I don't need a permit.
Okay,
If it's beyond 54 inches, then it needs a building permit. So if somebody was to put some up on a building as an accessory after the fact,
that's quite wide, huh?
54 inch,
Yeah.
big, little bigger than 4 feet, yeah.
Do we reference that? I mean,
That's the
Yeah.
building code.
okay,
I would, yeah, but it'd be nice to be able, like, sometimes this is for somebody to look at what they have to check.
Sure, yeah.
You know that because we do it all the time, but
Right.
have
A
no,
lot of people
no
don't know that.
concept, yeah. So I would put that in. Very fun.
yeah, no, I'll make a note to see if we can work
Maybe
that.
project featured awnings greater than X amount of feet.
We'll work on it. All right, then we go down to roofs.
I would still like to leave that flat roofs are discouraged, but you know, allowed if they have a decorative corner. Because for most of the flat roof with Millie's looks good, but overall, like,
But with the corners, it will repair a bit, I think they do look good, so.
right. So I don't know.
Well, you just wanna put it in that they are just, you know. Discouraged
What
without.
are they?
Well, that's
I don't know if they are.
the flat roof. The cornices are not discouraged.
I mean, we don't like 1-story flat roofs or 2-story flat roofs, but 3 stories look good, so.
Well, it's only because you're looking up,
Right.
you don't see it.
Well, it changes.
But how about if we leave flat roof structure is permitted only if it's capped by an architectural parapet? And that kind of like,
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, that's in the guidelines, though, and what she has here does give us a thing to check off that. If it has a flat roof, it has the corners.
oh, again, I'm not looking at it as a checklist
Yeah.
thing.
So I think what she's got is fine.
I keep getting confused.
Yeah.
I wonder if,
I know, and
but you wonder if like the applicant is gonna read just the checklist, are they gonna bother? Does anyone actually bother to read the design review guideline? Except for us,
If
for
they know
2
what's
years.
Maybe our guidelines would be taken.
way to kill our motivation.
Well, I like what you said, and I like the inclusion of adding it to.
I kind of want to leave that in a way, just so it stands out.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would
but
do
you're
that.
changing the whole focus of the checklist though,
Well-
if you do that.
Cause remember, it's a tool for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're gonna use it
but
too,
the new
probably.
people.
Well, yeah,
might not-
they should self-score
Okay.
themselves
Well,
and
we
then
can always
put out
change.
matters. So, yeah, if it ever becomes an issue, but I like it, what she's got. Is that okay to leave it for now? Now, the lighting one. That's Laurie's domain, so whatever she says is good with me.
That was changed. to
Yeah.
It's
I
very
think
new.
this outdoor lighting cutoff, I think they should have to put in a timer. Oh, it says to say, but I have to do it because I've got, in my area, they're on my. And,
It says when we-
businesses,
yeah,
just to throw this out there, like a bank,
yeah,
their insurance company may require 24/7 security lighting.
It's scary though.
well, the signage, the two, like my bedroom's 12 feet from the lot line. So there are two.
But what you're
boxes
saying-
and Sign come right into my bedroom.
But what you're saying is.
Yeah, but they can, I mean, they can still control the spill.
They they should control.
They should,
Yeah,
they should, that's what all the stuff, I think is what we're trying to get to.
yeah,
But just remember that some lights are required because of the business that they're.
well, I would think that those would be on the building
Down light
down.
or a pole light that's going down.
Yeah, that I would think of.
Yeah.
But yours
But not
is signed.
these are coming right up.
Right, yeah, not like spread lights.
Yeah, and these do that, and then of course the one at Bill Sammy's keeps those lights on top of the roof on. Really found
You're so close.
Okay,
So close. We
Sorry.
got one more page.
We'll do it.
We're gonna make it.
Okay,
Okay, but for what you were saying, it already said it's time.
I did see the word time, so I'm just saying.
So we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, last page. Is this the last page?
Yeah.
Last page.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, so. I wrote remove, but I think you combined versus, so.
Yeah, so when we changed that bylaw in 2024, we literally struck those words. So that's why I removed it from here.
Okay, so that applies to.
Because instead of 76-degree cutoff, we all know how it has to be fully down.
Yeah.
No more 76.
So that means we're good with these last four things, right? And then the one where I added, which was a previous note where we talked about the pillar bases for the light poles. It had to be close to flush with the ground. We had talked about changing that unless in paved areas. So if there's a plow hazard of striking the pole, you want it to hit the concrete. So we're just gonna add, and that was an old change.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I think we're done.
We made it. Don't think we have time to do the design review guidelines, but you will update this.
I'll lock in all
You can
these
talk to
changes.
Lori.
and Lori's got a couple, I think, I'll
Yeah.
remind her of.
So that's good, that'll be done, until we have more bylaw changes, you know.
Okay, so we've done a minute, we've done this.
Yeah, and then. I did review quickly, it looks like a new picture on the front cover.
It is a new picture on the front, so there are some aerial photos in there, taken by Tweety. So that's great, and then I am still waiting on a picture for a landscape front yard, unless we want to use a video game device. I'm waiting on an example of a wall sign. I want to know if you guys are okay with. It was about the cellar. In landscaping, we have 2 photos of the cellar. If you would like to remove one of them and replace it with another.
I would definitely replace with you, I think the cellar's in good shape.
Yep, so I'm curious what you want the picture to be replaced with and what you want the wall sign. Because the wall sign is the cellar as well.
Yeah, okay.
Let's use the drawing of Melby's place.
I wanna actually get some of that in there. Yes, what she has.
But it's not built yet.
Yeah,
Still.
Right, but those drawings-
Your plans are there, but the fact of the matter is, that's really what we'd like to be able to have.
Do we use
Yeah.
drawings anywhere else?
So,
We do.
well, we were supposed to put some in, because I had that, remember that schematic that showed what a facade was and all that stuff. So, I actually have a picture of the cellar. problem is I have so many pictures to find. I took it at night, and when you come in the driveway, all the birch trees are all uplit. As you pull in, and it is dramatic and gorgeous. I'm almost, wow, so
So you
shocking.
can find it.
Yeah, fine. Either that or retake it, but there was no cars there at the time and just the lighting coming up on the, it was phenomenal. So I would like to do that. And then I still wanted to, but see, these have gotten smaller. I still wanted to do that inset but you put it under roofs, you know, the Lala Java Mall.
Don't know how that would work with the layout.
So
Well,
all these
these
pictures are
right
the
here.
same size.
Yeah.
So do you think that it might be too small of a
Well-
photo to be able to demonstrate what you're talking about?
Now that it's small as this here, it would be. It wouldn't be totally different, you know, the inset's greater in size, or it's a close up, so you see that. But this is small, well, I guess it's because maybe the white, what are they building? And then you've got two storefronts being the same pictures again, so you've got the storefronts and the windows, doors.
Yeah, so last time we agreed to have all of those pictures on that page be of the same building, but at different angles to reflect the different
Because it's
things
like
that we
using millies and different pictures, you get one building,
Okay,
it covers a lot of the.
alright, then you don't need to put that inset on them, cause that was, I was gonna take the one in the middle and put it in the bottom of the lower right corner, but you don't need to do. You're not gonna put it on.
I mean, if you gave me a photo where you did that, I could certainly put it in and you could see if you liked it more, but I do think that it's not enough room to include another photo inside of it.
Yeah. Alright, well, I've gotta work with you on some.
On that- On that page while on it, I like how that Lala Java too. I love their lighting, you know how they show the goose on some buildings, those gooseneck ones?
Yeah,
I love how the Lala Java use the lighting strip, it points down, you barely see it. I almost feel like writing appropriate windows and lighting, like I love how it has the lamp posts. I wanted to use that as a lighting picture.
well, how about if you took it at night?
Which ones do you want?
I'm on page 20.
So the center one or the?
Yeah, the center one where it says appropriate windows, above those signs is the lighting, and I just think it looks so nice. We're building,
Well, again,
No,
if
you can't really
you take it
see
at
it.
night, you'll
yeah,
be able to see that. So now you'll have a little bit different look, which would be nice, because you're bringing in a day and night appealing. So I can go down there and do it.
I just like it as a suggestion for newer buildings, because a lot of them do use those gooseneck lighting, but I feel they're so busy. Like I love how this just has the strip pointing down,
But it
but that's
depends
just my
on,
personal
depends on the
opinion. Yeah,
you know, some of the goosenecks are really necessary to change the look.
yeah,
But I would say to do that.
I like this type of lighting too, I'm just saying,
Can I ask a question about page 21?
yeah.
What do you guys think if the first picture of the cellar where you see the sign, what if I removed that picture and we kept the wall sign example that said cellar on it? If you go to page 22, if we're struggling to come up with another wall sign example, I think it could be fine if we kept the cellar sign and then just included a picture of all of their pots. Does that make sense?
Well, personally, I don't love this wall sign of cellars, even though there's green around it. I would, if we were gonna do a, well, not a wall sign, but if the sign of there, or into the parking lot, all those a nicer appearance than that.
What nicer period?
But that's a freestanding.
Yeah, I
sign.
know, that's why. I'm
Yeah.
saying that, there's enough, I had one that was, what's the name of the place? In the Fox Meadow Plaza, decorative or something like that, that was on the wall. And it's nice, it's got great landscaping around and everything else.
You can send that to them, we could discuss it
Yeah.
next time,
Okay.
I think, yeah,
Alright, and I know you're gonna get going.
I have wording changes to the signs. See the 24 and 25, and I'm 75% way there, so then I can send it out. Just cause I feel like it's a lot of writing, but I just grouped it so certain things were grouped together. But I'm 75% there, and people can read it, you decide if you like it, if you don't, you don't.
So can we like put this for next time we're here?
Yeah,
And I just wanna bring up under all new business.
sure, but if you have any pictures, like, instead of waiting till next time, it'd be good to.
Oh, no,
get
I
Abby.
definitely,
Yeah.
because I sent her a couple already that I started cleaning up.
Yeah.
So,
Just so we'll streamline our next
yeah, we wanna
meeting.
have it already.
Yeah, hopefully by next meeting, or like in between like that time, we can get a new picture for a landscape front yard, a new wall sign. And then replace that cellar photo. That would be it, to my knowledge, once those wording changes.
Except for my picture that we decided on for the parking lot with it's a different one now, and I like both of them. But I didn't know if they were both it, the landscaping breaks up a parking lot expanse.
Yeah, so that was one of the aerial photos, if you guys
Yeah.
would prefer to not use the aerial photo and use the picture that we talked about last time, we can certainly do that.
Is that the black?
The black,
We could put side by side next
Yeah,
week,
yeah, I-
kind of,
yeah,
side,
Like, you mean this one?
yeah. Well, I think this looks good. My other one had comes here.
Yeah, you have the maple tree. All red.
Oh, yeah, I like those. I think we should do.
I like both.
that one
Go
is.
off a tangent and say,
Yeah.
when Millie
I
does
like both of
her
them, so it's
closure.
not-
I mean, just
Well, right.
because we have aerial
Of
photos.
that picture,
Yes.
because that looks like it should be.
I know, I don't like that. That's another
Which one?
picture, definitely.
Oh, yeah, we
It should
should
be-
do something better for
You
that.
know, when Millie does.
There
her-
must be a better one.
We'll call it that, right?
Trash.
Let's see what it comes up with.
Alright. And again, on the kerning and stuff like that, there's hyphens all over the place. So we can't have that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a little one.
This is their lighting, it was just a closer up view.
Yeah, that's the only way we're gonna be able to tell that,
Right,
unless.
Well, awnings or a
Must be light.
similar fabric, there's two pythons in that word.
It's.
but I think it's great,
Well,
it's getting there.
Second
It's
one's,
really close to the
second
finish
one's
line.
The font that was decided on automatically does those hyphens instead of. just
there
keeping
should be
the-
an option to turn off widows and orphans, is what it's called.
Okay, what's it called?
Widows and orphans.
Okay.
You know, enable them or disable them, it's not, look for it, it might not be there, but it used to be in Word.
Alright, well, if it's in Word, it should be in Publisher, so I'll just have to take.
I like the new picture you added on page 5.
That was Lisa's idea to
Oh.
have sure the church.
Yeah,
That
that
kind of gives you
it
that.
added the picture to the
downtown-
page
yeah.
too. Like that.
Amy, did you send her your picture?
No. I know. Yeah,
If
that-
you guys could send those final pictures, then maybe at the next meeting, we can finish these.
Right.
documents.
Right. I start like right after last design review meeting, I started doing all this, and then we got hit with the planning board meeting, and then I switched gears.
When's the next design review meeting?
The second Thursday,
In December.
yeah, we're already in December. Can everybody make that meeting? It's
Feel better.
11.
So far.
Look at my calendar.
Cause I can do the 4th. I'd rather not move it to the 18th,
What was the date?
December 11th.
My schedule's old. All of December.
I was almost thinking of doing the 4th and the 11th to make sure we're finished. In December.
I do have a dentist appointment on the fourth, right at this time.
Okay.
Alright, so we're the 11th, I thought. Okay. No minutes.
We already did
No
one.
minutes. I just, Scott had brought this by. These are what the signs that we worked so hard on. And I'm not happy with them.
Oh, no.
Well, this is one of the reasons, this look right here wasn't gonna go to all the buildings.
You can't see that, can you?
What do you mean? Now it's not gonna be all the buildings?
Not like this. Well, no, what I'm saying is what we did was, it looked like the Peasley sign. It was a carved sign with letters that are carved into the wood or into the, look like wood. With thick granite pillars.
Mhm.
And that's what the library agreed to, that's what we all agreed to, these are all changed.
What is it now?
Skinny on two, well, skinny all of them, the depth, the specs were different than what the specs went out with the RFP.
Right, they don't have the curve on the top
We don't
anymore.
have this, well, it doesn't have the shape, it is, they aren't all the same, it's like, that's
Do you
not
think
what
you
we
could
agreed
cut-
to.
This isn't already being built, is it?
Not yet, you have to prove it.
Oh, okay, cause I liked how we picked that, we picked
Yes,
that.
but that's not the sign we picked, it wasn't red background like all this, all the. The park signs were all red with white letters. We
Can
took
Scott
that.
come to our next meeting, or do you wanna talk to him?
I'll first talk to him, I mean, I wanna get my other documentation first.
Yeah,
So you better understand the difference of what it was that we spec.
did he have a reason why he was changing it?
Yeah, I'm sure, because they came in so underbid that. When they came in so underbid, I'm like, you can't do that with granite posts,
I mean, it came in cheap?
Yeah.
Cheaper than we thought?
way cheaper than we thought, way cheaper than the money that we set aside for ARPA money.
Oh, so we could do the granite post, there's more money.
We put money in it for that.
Okay,
And the side, those aren't carved, I mean, I have to bring you.
yeah, what did the
pictures.
plastic light up?
I don't know. But it doesn't,
Translucent white polycarbonate faces,
yeah,
so they must be illuminated, these are the kinds we don't want.
that's exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened,
So.
but he didn't already order them, hopefully.
Hopefully, because there's no signature.
Is there any way to talk to him right now? Like, we don't want him to order those aren't even. That's the box light that
Yeah.
we were getting away from.
But
I don't-
it's like, don't even spend the money, because if you're gonna do that, the one that's there is fine.
He poked his head in.
I- he
Do you
just-
think he's
because he-
still
Yeah,
here?
he brought up that.
Oh,
We can ask him if he's here.
We
yeah,
always deliver bad news in public spaces.
in the middle of the meeting, they hear.
So I would say let me get my documents and what we agreed to, because
But I-
we all agreed to a certain look.
Yeah. We at least don't want him to order enough stuff.
Yeah.
That would be a shock if they showed up.
And the library would feel the same.
Yeah.
I do, you can't see, you come back and design review, maybe. Want me to talk to you about the signs?
Oh, I know.
Good, Andy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, should we end the meeting first?
Think she's leaving, we lose quorum.
And then you can still talk to Scott.
Yeah, cause this is really not
Well,
design review. is
oh
it?
yeah, it is, because we made it in design review. I think we can just say to him, we'll talk about it later, let's just not. Hi,
Hi,
we were just looking at what you sent.
oh, that was just for you,
Yes,
that wasn't for the design review committee.
well, we had designed the signs originally here. So that's how all the specs came out.
Okay.
So Amy was worried that these have already been ordered. I said, no, I don't believe so.
No, it's a shop.
Oh, good, yeah, cause they aren't the same.
So that's, we can talk it later. Amy has to leave. We just wanted to make
Okay.
sure that they weren't.
They
No.
order, yeah.
No, we spent the sample drawing and solicitation to all the bidders got them, gave the quotes. The next process is awarded contract to provide the shop drawing, that's what that is, we provide comments, I already have some comments. But I wanted to get it past, well, apparently there's a review board, so I don't know what the process is with you guys, because I don't deal with you at all. But is it another meeting, you gotta look at it, do you guys do comments, what's the process we have to look through?
Well, anything off the top of my head is we weren't doing the box interlighting signs. These are supposed to be externally lit.
All four signs are supposed to be the same. They were supposed to be the same look, the same pillars and everything else. I said, it's better if I bring those papers back so everybody can see them again and refresh them.
Okay.
Because the police is going back into, there's no reason to change it. You're gonna have into this stuff.
Okay.
So that was how it started.
Yep.
So then when we're ready, shortly.
Okay. All right, but then we'll talk to Chief Griffin about it.
Yeah.
Since it's his building and.
Right, well, we'd already agreed, everybody that was having the building, put sign in, the library and everybody,
Yep.
everybody agreed to the original.
Because that's what we talked about in the field with Chief, a pre-bid, pre-construction meeting, so if the chief's mind changed, then. I don't really care what goes in at all.
Yeah.
I just
Maybe
want-
Lisa.
I just
you
wanna
could
make sure
meet-
it goes in correctly.
Yeah, well,
You can meet with Spot and Chief,
I
or,
don't need to be part of it, whatever the decision is, you guys
No.
pick something, that's fine.
It's okay, because we picked it, they okayed it, that's what we presented it at the ARPA money, the
Yep.
ARPA money was there. And so they were all supposed to have that look, that's what we were trying to move towards, the new look,
Right.
not have it be a part of them.
Yeah.
And so I think what happens is communication changes, the chief probably has, whatever it is, fine, looks good to me. We did it at design review, we wrote the letter and voted on it, so that's why we're talking about here.
Okay,
So let me get the docs,
Yeah.
figure out,
yeah, that's fine, if you wanna put it on a future agenda, I'm happy to come back.
do you want to? Yeah.
Sure, we
we'll put it
meet
on the-
December 13th or 11th, what did we say?
Yeah, 11, but,
December 11th.
So we're at 11, is that 10 a.m.? Take it.
9:30, we first on our agenda.
9:30, okay. Ready for-
If there's anything you can do in between, Lisa,
yeah, I will.
Yeah, just reach out to the chief, make sure he's okay with whatever, he doesn't need to attend.
No, that's why we went through that whole,
Yeah,
went to make presentations.
no problem. Yeah, my comments on it was just put the appropriate language on the hanger below. The library, I like to have an outlet at each one if I can.
Yes, we gave money for that.
So that would be, there's electrical work, yes, but part of the original design wasn't to have an external outlet, but it would be nice to have one, so we could put lights on and stuff like that.
All right,
For
well,
the
the
building.
library actually, we talked about that, the library, they were either gonna do that, they were gonna take the cost of bringing that out, plug out,
Okay.
but
No,
everybody else was already buying.
Yeah, PD has electricity, we have electricity, libraries that do service, that they have to core through the Granite Foundation to get to, so. While the numbers were the numbers when ARPA gave us when ARPA was approved. I don't think there was a detailed site visit by an electrician to the library, because coring through 2 feet of granite. Is a lot different than, just kind of popping through your foundation,
It's 2 feet.
yeah, the blocks are about like this.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
the
do they not have anything else out there?
no electricity in the front.
can it be solar since it's library?
the panel, that's second.
With solar panels sitting on top of the,
Oh.
it's gonna, so, yeah, the electricity is the right way, we'd have an outlet out there. It's just, it came in more expensive than we expected when the bids came in, for the electrical work.
Electrical, yeah.
Yeah, the signs are affordable, so we have some wiggle room. But, yeah, I'm happy to come back, just as long as you and the chief are cool, well,
Okay, well, thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt.
No, your email doesn't work, by the way,
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
I know.
She's full.
Yahoo decided, make an
All right,
announcement.
First, I'm
Yahoo
gonna
decided that
end the meeting. for-
I have not enough storage, so I'm right now doing design thinking, so.
Oh, okay,
Get
I will
you.
see you on the Gmail.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
Have a nice Thanksgiving all.
Thanks.
Thanks, we're all set, thank you.
We're waiting about it.
we're waiting for voting, yes, we're